Hi, welcome to the video. So this is the guitar I just bought, a John Petrucci Majesty 6 from Ernie Ball. Now, I bought this without ever actually playing it ahead of time. None of the local stores in my area actually carried in stock. So I ended up going through Guitar Center. This is not sponsored, though I got no discount or anything. But I went through them because there's a store 10 minutes from my house, and I knew they gave a 45-day return policy. So if I ordered it and didn't like it, which since I had never played it, I thought was, a fairly decent possibility. It looked good on paper, but you never know till you play something. That thing I could always easily return it in person. So now I've had it, I just picked it up yesterday. So I've had about 24 hours. Total truth, I haven't 100% decided whether I'm keeping it or not. I was originally leaning towards keeping it. Now I'm a little bit back and forth, but still probably leaning a little bit more towards keeping it than not. But I'm going to run through my impressions of it and some of the details on what you get with it. And while I do think it's a really good guitar, I'm just not 100% sure if it's the best guitar for me personally. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that I usually only play one guitar as my primary on it. And so if this isn't going to be my primary guitar for at least 10 years or so, it costs $3,900 plus tax, bringing it over $4,000. I'm not going to spend that amount of money on a guitar personally unless it's going to be my primary guitar. This other guitar that I've been playing was a custom one I had done through Warmoth, with then adding the Mars ear pickups and shallow hardware. And I've played that as my primary basically for 20 years. But recently I sold another guitar that I had, which gave me a little bit extra money, which kind of gave me an excuse to buy a new one. So let me go ahead and break down some of the things on this guitar. First impression when I picked it up, it's very kind of small body, light, and I like that. It's very comfortable to play. The rounding on it and the shape and the size and everything makes it probably the most comfortable electric guitar, as far as holding it, it being well balanced and everything, of any guitar I've played. So big plus there. And basically what I'm looking for when I'm looking for guitar is playability, sound, and looks. But for me, if looks was a major thing, I think it's really cool looking, I would just keep it. But for me, that's the least important thing. Playability is probably the #1 thing for me. That just because if you have a bad neck or something you're not happy with, that's harder to fix without starting to chop it up and do major work on. But if the sound is a little bit, needs some tweaking, possibly a different amp, effects, other things can possibly fix the sound as long as it's not terrible on it. So playability is probably #1 for me. Sound is of course just as important, but is maybe a little easier to fix if it's wrong. So playability is great. The neck has ebony fretboard on it, which I had never owned a guitar with that before. I'm happy with that. It's got stainless steel frets. The radius and all the other specifications are things I knew I'd like, and that's where I said that, on paper it looked good. 24 frets, which my last one was 22, but previous to I'd used 24, and I kind of do like the 24, but that's not a make or break thing. The only thing I'd say playability wise that I'm used to with my past guitar, I specifically had a Petrucci neck put on it, the Petrucci wood, which is solid enough that, or stable enough that you don't need to put any finish on the back. So I've been playing with a bare wood back of my neck for the past 20 years as my primary guitar. So having a finish on the back, and it's not a super sticky finish, but it's not, I've had ones that were a little bit, maybe smoother. So that takes some getting used to. I prefer a lighter finish on the back, but other than that, that's the only thing I can say that's anything negative about playability wise. It's got a thin, fast neck, and again, the basic balance and shape and comfort is great on. Okay, I also like that even though it's got a floating bridge, it doesn't have, like my previous Floyd Rose one, the locking nut, which is kind of a pain in the butt on it, so I like that. But That's another thing that I'm not as happy with. I would actually prefer it to have a flowing bridge at all. I um, don't really use it enough to make it, in my opinion, worth the hassle of the extra time spent tuning. If I do keep this, I'll probably block off the bridge. Okay, but let's get into the sounds. The sounds are impressive in the number of choices you have, because it's got the two humbuckers, but it's also got a piezo, like acoustic pickup in the bridge saddles. So the diagram it comes with is this, which at first looking at it was a little bit, okay, that's the full instructions, what's all this mean? But once you kind of get playing through it, it starts to make sense. Basically, you've got like a normal 2 pickup guitar. You've got your 3-way switch down here. On the 3-way, it's just, like normal neck, both, and bridge. Or sorry, I said that in reverse. Bridge, both, and neck pickups. But then you also have, and here, let me go and play these a little bit. So let me first show what this top button means. And this is one that adds a little bit of the confusion to it, but it makes sense once you do it. So the top one is the piezo one. Now they recommend plugging it into a split line with the piezo going to acoustic amp, and the humbuckers going to a amp for electric guitar. I'm not doing that. I'm just plugging it all into the same amp. But that would be an option. So basically, here's the, let me turn up the volume on that. Here's the acoustic piezo alone by itself. Now, if you put it in the middle, then it mixes the two. So it mixes, in this case, I've got it set on the both pickups and the piezo. And if I put it on the bottom, then that's just the humbuckers, and the piezo is not working at all on it. Now so it's giving you a lot of options, because you have the 3 pickups, but then you also have, on top of that, if you put in the middle saying, you can push this button, and it has a pop out that coil splits it to give you more of a single coil sound. So with it on the humbucker, it sounds like that. With single coil like that. Okay. And then of course this is where all the options come in. You could then do any of those and mix them with the piezo too. So you've basically got the piezo by itself, each of these by themselves for the 3 options. You have the 2 humbuckers together, but then you can also blend any of these 3 settings on here of the humbuckers with the piezo. And on top of that, you've got separate volume for piezo ones. So if you're mixing the 2, so I'm remix them now. I can turn down the volume on the piezo to just get the humbucker, or to get some sort of blend. So you can keep turning up the piezo to give it more of the blend. So a lot of sonic possibilities, because then you can do that same thing with the piezo mixed with the neck. Sorry, I keep saying that reverse, I don't know why. The bridge pickup, I mean, with the bridge pickup. And then there I switched off the piezo to just hear the bridge pickup. I can put up on the neck pickup with the piezo off. And then turn on the piezo. So, tons of options. Then you can also do a boost by pushing in this button, which pops out, which gives you a boost, because it's got a preamp built into this on it. And for the preamp, it just takes AA batteries on it, which I think is kind of nice. I haven't tried it yet, but if I did keep it, I'd try and maybe use some of my rechargeables then to kind of save some money. But I don't know for sure if the rechargeables would work. But anyways, So lots of tonal options. What I have to figure out now is, with these different options, do I like the sound well enough to make it my primary guitar? I'm not taking full advantage of the things of some of the strengths of this, because I'm not going to be primarily playing with distortion, which I think is what a lot of people who buy this would be doing. Maybe mostly playing it with a clean sound on that. And I haven't really dialed in with my amp to find what the best combination of sound on that amp is yet, because I'm still trying to figure out what just each combination of these sounds like at this point. So that's kind of where I'm at with this, trying to decide the sounds of this. And one thing that's throwing me off a little bit is I'm used to my other guitar using flat wound strings, which just has, of course, round wound strings, and on top of that they're brand new strings, which make it even brighter. So it's got kind of a brighter sound than I normally would like on it, on the settings. So maybe switching to a flat wound would make me like the sound a little bit better, because right now I'm a little bit on the fence. I like the sound, but I don't know if I like it enough to want that to be my primary sound. So overall, I would say it's a great guitar. As far as comfort of playability, you know, other than a little bit less finished neck, there's nothing I could complain about. The frets, the shape, the feel, the balance, everything's great on. Look, I think it looks really nice. And then tones, it gives you lots of options. I still have to just explore those and see what options I like, and if, again, it's something that I will end up making my primary guitar. But like I said, I've got 45 days, so that's the nice thing on it, so I can decide. And it does come with two, you can kind of see in the background here, a nice case, which it says is a gig bag, but if you look at it, it's actually a shaped case on it. So it's almost more like a hard case, but lighter on it. You can see it's actually pretty solid. It's not what I would think of as a gig bag. I think it more of as a case on. Anyways, so I'll keep you updated. You'll probably see me in the next video too, still playing this as I try and decide. And then if I don't get this, I'll end up getting something else, or maybe custom making another guitar. But thanks for watching. If you have any questions on it, you know, feel free to ask. I'm definitely not an expert, though. I said I've had it for one day, and just have been messing around with it a little bit. But thanks for watching.